Güssenburg Castle is a ruined castle on a hill near Hermaringen in Heidenheim County in Baden-Württemberg, Germany. It was built around 1346, during the High Middle Ages, and much of the curtain wall and keep remain. Location: the ruin sits at an elevation of about 500 meters above sea level and about 50 meters above the floor of the Brenz Valley. The castle hill, known as the Schlossberg, is very steep on the north, west and east sides, which made it an ideal location for a fortification. History: Burg Güssenburg was the ancestral seat of the House of Güssenburg, which was later known as the Gus von Güssenburg. The family was quite large and eventually ruled over many castles and communities in the region, including Brenz and Der Brenz, Hornsheim and Leipheim. Because of the numerous branches of the family, the entire Güssenburg family was generally known under the name of Gussin. The family ruled as ministerialists or unfree knight in the service of another noble. Initially, the ministerialists ruled a fief for a noble, but could not inherit the fief. However, by the 13th century the fiefs had become much more heritable. The Gussens served as ministerialists for the Diepoldinger and later the Hohenstaufen families. The first mention of the Gussen is from 1 and 7 May 1171, when Diepold Gusser is listed as a witness on two documents issued by Emperor Frederick I. Heinrich von Güssenburg is mentioned in 1216 as a witness to the peace settlement between the monastery at Ellwangen and Kaisheim. In 1328 the fief went to the Counts of Helfenstein, but the Gussens seem to have held the Güssenburg. Around 1346 the keep was expanded and the curtain wall was built. About 20 years later, the Gussen von Güssenburg line died out and the castle was taken over by the Gussen von Hornsheim family. A few years later, in 1372, the Hornsheim line sold the Güssenburg to the Count of Helfenstein. The Güssenburg was the administrative center of the Count's fief in the Brenz Valley. The Count's voter bailiff was located at the Güssenburg until 1448. The central location of the castle made it an ideal location to administer the Grafschaft fief of the Count. In 1448 the fief fell to the House of Württemberg. However, the castle was destroyed in 1449 during the Stadtkrieg by troops from Ulm, Jengen and Leuingen, and never rebuilt. In 1709 the community of Hermaringen inherited the ruins and the associated farms below the hill. In 1970–71 the ruins were repaired and cleaned. A further renovation occurred from 1981 until 1998 through the local castle society. Description: the keep and curtained wall form an irregular rectangle of about 45 meters by 70 meters. On the south side, a wide dry moat separates the castle area from the flat hilltop. Near the moat a massive curtain wall rises up. The ashlar wall is up to 3.4 meters thick. A post found in the wall has been dendrochronology dated to 1350. The curtained wall is 47 meters long, and the western portion is partially collapsed. On the ends there are short, angular sections of wall. The western, somewhat longer section might be the remains of the former castle gate. The eastern section is the beginning of the inner wall. About 25 meters behind the curtain wall, currently nearly flat, runs the old inner ditch. Behind the inner ditch, portions of the inner castle still remain. These include debris, barriers and the ruins of the keep. The square keep is still about 6 meters high. During the early 20th century the outer layer of the keep was still visible. However, today only the brick fill of the walls is still visible. The inner surface is decorated with 26 small squares.